Guys, we have an urgent information coming out. Do me a favor, share this video. Once again, thank you so much for your support. Britain must look at sharing nuclear equipment with Germany to counter critical threat posed by Russia, defense chief have said. Now, senior leaders, including a former chief of defense staff and NATO Secretary General, have urged the UK to open up talks with Berlin over a fresh defense pact. Germany is also in strategic discussion with Paris over how the French could provide potential protection in the form of its own nuclear deterrent. Man. All right, so NATO is getting nuclear stuff ready. I just posted a video not too long ago, DEFCON Watch. You have the Bear. They have their nuke pointed at the US and also the alliances. So we are definitely hearing a lot when it comes to nuclear equipment. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support, guys. Your support truly helps out. Thank you so much for that. All right, so nuclear, submarines, warship, you have all these war stuff going on, especially what's happening out there in the Caribbean Sea. We're about to see one of the world's biggest aircraft carrier, Ford, is going to arrive pretty soon out there in the Caribbean, not too far from Venezuela. All right, so it says here, Friedrich, the German chancellor, has hinted he will be keen to discuss a similar arrangement with Starmer. Now, sources insisted such talks between the UK and Germany had not yet taken place. However, senior defense officials have voiced their support for such a pact, with Lord Robertson, a former NATO Secretary General, saying, "I welcome it. It's right and proper and should have happened a long time ago." Once again, you have Labour peer who served as Defense Secretary under Sir Tony Blair and was NATO chief during the 2003 Iraq War, said there were mounting fears over the nuclear saber rattling by Russia. We are definitely seeing a lot of ships out there. All right, guys, so once again, NATO alliances are discussing nuclear. This is DEFCON alert. If the bear continues to deploy nuclear rhetoric, it's going to force some decision to be made inside Europe as a whole, he warned. There are also growing concerns about whether America could one day abandon the European defense, which it has been a interesting part of since the end of the World War II. Now, this week, the U.S. commander, Donald, the U.S. president, followed Europe's lead by imposing new sanctions on two of the Russia's biggest oil firms, the Rosneft and Lukoil. Now, it says here the move was branded an act of war. Is that true? Is that true? According to a lot of people, it is an act of war. What the commander just did, slapping sanctions on the bear, they're saying that it's an act of war. And this is coming out from former leader of Russia, Dmitry, is also saying that too. Now, Britain's nuclear arsenal, the Trident missiles, is operated by the Royal Navy from its fleet of 4 Vanguard stealth submarines, with one of the boats always on patrol at any time. They go to subs. The weapons have been declared to NATO as part of a long-standing agreement dating back to the 1960s, meaning they can already be deployed in defense of the alliance. Earlier this year, Starmer announced the UK would enhance its defenses by purchasing 12 F-35A stealth fighter jets capable of carrying nuclear weapons, which will be based in Britain. Man, this is not looking good. It says here, give me a second. However, Field Marshal, who served as Chief of Defense Staff between 2013 and 2016, said worries over whether America would cut its military support for Europe as it turns its gaze towards China should open up the debate on the continental nuclear deterrent. The infilling of European option other than that of France's has to be something that is on our minds, he told the Telegraph. But is this a good thing or is it madness? My personal jury is out on it. To be honest, I think it's madness. We should not be discussing all these nuclear stuff and building up biblical wars and selling equipment, F-35s and all these warships. I mean, there has to come to an agreement. I'm talking about true peace, not the one that Donald keep talking about. And look, I got nothing against Donald. He's done really good stuff. But when it comes to all this peace stuff going on, again, he's talking about peace, but at the same time, there's still some war going on. It says, however, General Sir Richard Barons had reservation about Britain sharing nuclear weapons, insisting such a plan would never work, as it will become bogged down by who would ultimately have authority to pull the trigger, push the button. Now it says here, from someone firing the first missile to humankind being extinguished and the world taking 24,000 years to recover. Wow, hold on, give me a second here. 24,000 years to recover? Just imagine that. Imagine if all nuclear were to go off, just hitting all over the place. There's like maybe 11,000, 12,000 nukes combined. Imagine every single one of them being fired. It would take 24,000 years possibly to recover. So from someone firing the first missile to humankind being extinguished, vaporized, and the world taking 24,000 years to recover, it's about 90 minutes, he added. So all that could be done in 90 minutes. The annihilation, the finito, the end times, gone forever. With a push of a button. Boop. That's it. Now it's going to take us 24,000 years to get back where we started. And that's starting from scratch. The air is clean and everything. Now you have to rebuild again. Imagine building a car or building social media. It ain't going to be easy. So it says here, trying to get 30 nations to come to a consensus against the clock while your opponent in Russia is just one man is not foreseeable. So on Thursday, Britain marked the first anniversary of the Trinity House agreement with Germany. Now it says here the deal will see German P-8 sub hunting planes being based at RAF Louismouth in Scotland, flying operation to track Vladimir underwater fleet in the North Atlantic, as well as the development of long-range deep strike missiles and enhanced cyber system. As a part of the agreement, discussion over nuclear capability will also take place. However, a defense source said this was a long way from sharing nuclear equipment. France and the UK are the only two countries in Europe which have nuclear. France has almost 300 nuclear warheads, while the UK has about 250. Now, the 2025 Northwood Declaration set out plans to deepen Britain's nuclear cooperation with France. Although both countries are independent, they coordinate their weapons to defend NATO. However, only Starmer, the Prime Minister, can authorize the deployment of the UK nuclear arsenal. A Ministry of Defense spokesman said, since 1962, the UK has declared our nuclear deterrent to the defense of our NATO allies. We will continue to do so, safeguarding European and NATO security. Once again, the call by senior leaders comes as Russia is said to be amassing nuclear and strike submarines in the Arctic Circle as it prepares for war with NATO. And I just posted that video not too long ago in an interview with the Telegraph this week. Mr. Sandvik, Norway's defense minister, said Oslo had detected increased weapons development on Russia-Kola Peninsula, where its prized Northern Fleet and parts of its nuclear stockpile are based. He also said that Vladimir was trying to gain full naval control over the Arctic region so that he could block NATO allies' access to two key shipping routes that would help resupply Western in wartime. Alright, so this is a very important news here, guys. Once again, share our nuclear weapons with Germany, say British military chiefs. NATO is not trying, but they're preparing for worst case scenario, World War III. I want to show you something really quick here. This is something that I just shared not too long ago. The link will be in the description box. Telegraph put out this information. Russia massing nuclear fleet in Arctic Circle for war with NATO. And they have nuclear pointed, and they're also pointed to the sleeping giant. Alright, so this is where we are right now, guys. Give me a second. Let me go back on X. I want to bring this one up. So the US commander not meeting with Vladimir again until he knows they're going to make a deal. I'm not wasting my time. It seems like that's all the information here, but give me a second here, guys. Something is going on here. It doesn't look good. This is another breaking news. Hold on. Ooh, there's a shooting reported at downtown Austin. Library, one person hit. Austin Police Department and first responder rushed to the Austin Public Library downtown Saturday after reports of a, you know what, one person confirmed hit. The building evacuated. Authorities clearing floor by floor. No suspect description yet. No confirmed motive. We're in the everything everywhere era public access gov building. Pivot to threat zone in seconds. The shift this implies for security, public trust, cyberspace is major. Man. Also, I want to bring this one up too. There was another event. 13 were hit. 2 have passed. in North Carolina party shooting. Man. All right. So I just wanted to bring that up, guys. But going back to nation against nation, once again, we are definitely seeing NATO, the alliances are getting ready. They're getting ready. And at the same time, even the US is getting ready. That's the biggest aircraft carrier in the world. And it's heading towards the Caribbean. Look at all that, all those birds in that aircraft carrier. That's going towards Venezuela. And no, it's not going to go there to stop little tiny vessels. Something big is going to snap pretty soon, guys. These biblical wars is going to spark really bad. It's going to be worse than Joe during Joe time of 2021 to 2024. But this is where we are right now, guys. I will keep it updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share the video. Thank you so much for your support. Till next time later, peace.